Have you ever wondered, was Jesus politically correct? You know, we hear so much in our day and time about political correctness and how you've got to be sensitive to people's needs and people's concerns and their, issues and so forth. And you can't say things that could be interpreted as harsh or mean because that's not nice and that's mean spirited. And as Christians, sometimes we buy into that and we think that the church is supposed to be a nice, wonderful place where nobody ever has an argument and nobody ever gets upset or says things that might hurt somebody's feeling because you got to be nice, I wonder, was Jesus politically correct? I think if you really read the Bible, you will find that Jesus was probably one of the least politically correct people that you and I could ever got involved with or come to know. On one occasion in Matthew chapter 12, verse 34, Jesus told the religious folks of his day, he said, "You are a generation of snakes. How can you, being evil, say anything good?" Ooh, call them snakes? Well, how about John chapter 8, verse 44, when he said, "You belong to your father, the devil. You claim to know God, but you don't know God. God's not your father. Your father is the devil. And the stuff that he does, that's what you do. He was a liar from way back. And y'all are just like him." That don't sound nice. See, here's the problem. Truth isn't always wonderful. Oh, we all will say, hey, the truth will set you free. And that's true. But sometimes that freedom comes from having to embrace a truth that we do not like. If you're wrong, somebody needs to tell you you're wrong. If what you're saying is not true, somebody needs to call you out on it. You see, because Jesus wasn't just mean and hateful. Back up in John chapter 8, back to about the 10th, 11th verses there, where these people, these Jewish leaders grab this woman and drag him to Jesus and say, "We caught her in the very act of adultery." And Jesus says, "Well, if any of you without sin, let them cast the stone." See, Jesus knew they weren't being honest. They were being superficial. If they caught her in the very act of adultery, there was a man there somewhere. Why didn't they bring him too? No, they didn't want to. They wanted to see what Jesus was going to do. They wasn't about to show up one of their guys, their buddies. And Jesus knew they were dishonest. And he said, well, why don't one of y'all throw a stone at her? And when they all disappeared in embarrassment, Jesus told the woman, "Ma'am, I don't condemn you either. Just don't do it anymore." You see, when Jesus dealt with people who were arrogant and hard-hearted, he tried to break their hard heart. When he talked with people who had a broken heart or had humility, recognized that they were not in good shape spiritually, then he was kind to them. You see, our attitude should be like Jesus's. We should be kind to people who have failed, who have sinned, who have fallen short of God's mercy, but they understand that they're a mess and they want help. We should be kind to them. But those who are religious, devout, they want to know they're right and they're wrong, we need to be able to get in their face and tell them they're wrong. But we do it with love, because love seeks the best interest of someone else. That means if you're wrong, your best interest is to find out that you're wrong, even if you don't like it. You see, being a Christian isn't the same thing as being a doormat. Because we're Christians doesn't mean we have to lay down and let people walk on us and be nice even though they're treating you awful. No, Jesus was a fighter. He didn't care about political correctness. He didn't care if you didn't like what he said. On the occasion, while he was talking, his disciples said, "We don't want to hear this. We're not going to follow you anymore, Jesus." And Jesus basically says, "So?" And he turned around to the other followers of his and says, "If y'all want to leave, you can go too." Because truth can stand up by itself. It doesn't need to be pandered to. And the politically correct movement is just a way of making people shut up and not tell the truth, to intimidate you into silence so that you won't say, hey, what you're doing is wrong and you need to quit it. We need to be very serious about supporting and standing up for truth, even if it's deemed by those in power or in the know as being politically incorrect, and it could hurt somebody's feelings. Well, sometimes your feelings need to be hurt so that you can get better. Here at the Church of Christ at Forestdale, we try to share the love of Jesus Christ. We're going to support you. We're going to work with you. If you're down and out and you're struggling, we want to wrap our arms around you and love you. If you're wrong, we're going to tell you you're wrong now. Don't come here with your feelings on your sleeve and think that we're going to soft soap the gospel of Jesus Christ, because we're going to say what's true. And we're going to love you through the process. Join with us sometimes. See us on the web, cocforestdale.org. Come and worship with us. We'd love to have you. May God bless you.